Hey, hello, and welcome to Prime Code Media. My name is Nama Pena. In this video, I'll be discussing the CSS Absolute Position, and we'll also show how this property can be used to position elements. To do that, I'm going to use a code pen. Here I have three divs. These are 300 pixel by 100 pixel square boxes that I'll be using for this discussion. Before we go any further, I want to remove the margin around these elements here. As you can see, these elements are not touching the edge of the white or the body here, and this is because by default the body has a margin of 8 pixel. To do that, I'm going to come inside here and use the body tag name to target the body, and then I'll say margin, put the margin at 0, and then now these elements are touching the edge of the box. Now, in our previous discussion, we saw how relative positioning moves elements relative to their original position. You'll remember that the relative position moves elements relative to their default or original position. For example, if I want to move this or change the position of this red box using relative position, I would, for example, come inside here and give this element a relative position like so. I say position, which is a CSS property, and say relative, which is a property value. Now remember, once again, this line of code or this rule on its own doesn't work. That is why even after adding it, the red box is still where it was, so it has not moved. For it to move, we will have to add one of the coordinate properties. For example, if I were to say right, if I said right 50, let me say 50 pixel, what this does is that it has moved the red box from its original position. The right edge of the box, remember, was here. The original position of the right edge of the box was here, and now it has moved it by 50 pixel. So what this means is that the space between its original or default position and its current position is 50 pixel. So this is how relative positioning works. You'll notice some difference if I change this. So I'm going to replace relative with absolute. Now, as you can see, the red box has moved all the way to the right. And now this is because absolute positioning moves elements relative to the parent element, which is this body. So now this red box has a 50 pixel margin between itself and the parent, which is the body. So this is the 50 pixel margin between the red element and the body. I'm sure you notice that unlike relative position, where movement of elements doesn't affect the flow of other elements, absolute position does affect other elements, and that is why the area that was previously occupied by the red box is now occupied by the blue box. And that is the difference between relative and absolute positioning. So the parent element doesn't necessarily always have to be the body. The parent element could, for example, be a closest parent that has a relative layout. For example, I am going to add another div here. Let me add another div like so. So I'm going to give this div a class of I'll just call this parent. So this is the class, and I've named it the parent. So I'm going to come inside here and use the class name to target it. Say parent set of curly braces. Now I'm going to give this parent a height. Let me give it a height of 300 pixel and a width of 300 pixel and a background color, I'll say gray. Okay, supposed to be a colon here. Okay, gray. And then I'll position it. I'll give it a absolute, a relative, I beg your pardon, relative position. Now the next thing that I am going to do, I am going to take this red square and put it inside this parent. So for the first time, remember this at the moment the parent of this red box is the body, and that is why this red box at the moment has a 50 pixel margin between itself and the body, which is the parent. So I'm going to take this red square box and put it inside its new parent. So I'm going to do that right here. I'm going to cut this div and paste it inside here. So as you can see, earlier this red box was here and it had a 50 pixel margin between itself and the body. Right now inside this new parent, which is a gray div, you can see that right now this red box still has a margin, a 50 pixel margin between itself and its new parent. So this demonstrates what I was actually saying earlier, and that is the parent element doesn't necessarily always have to be the body. So the parent element could be the closest parent that has a relative layout, as I have just shown by creating this div here and gave it a relative position right here. Now while we are here, let's see how fixed position works. To show you how fixed position works, the first thing that I am going to do, I'm going to add an H1 here, like so. And then I'm just going to write here, let me write hello world inside here. And then I'm going to copy this H1 and paste it several times so that we are able to scroll up and down. The next thing that I am going to do, I am going to give this blue div or box a fixed position. Okay, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to say position is fixed. So I'm going to fix the position of this blue box at 0 pixel at the top. So I'll say top 0 pixel. So it's fixed here at the top. Now you'll see that when I scroll up, everything moves except the blue box. The blue box is not moving. Why? Because it has a fixed position. So you can, for example, use a fixed positioning for your navigation bar, so that when you scroll through your content, your navigation bar doesn't disappear from your view. Finally, let me also show you how the sticky positioning works. Now, to do that, I am going to give one of these level 1 headings a class. Let me give this one a class. I'll just call it sticky. Okay, and then I am going to come in here and then use the class name to target that the h1 sticky, and then I'm going to give it a different background color so that it's easily identifiable. Let's give it a green background color, and then position, we say the position is sticky. Now let's say we'll say okay, sticky, and then let's say sticky at the 100 pixel. Okay, let's 100 pixel. Now let's scroll and see what happens. As you can see, here is that level 1 heading, which has a green background color, and then when we scroll up it moves, but when it reaches 100 pixel before the edge at the top there, it stops moving. Everything continues to move when we scroll, but the green one just stops right there. Even when we move back, we are able to move it back, and then when we move back up, it gets stuck up there, and this is because we have changed or given it a sticky position. So here the element is position based on the user's scroll. Please note though that the sticky positioning is not supported by Internet Explorer and Edge 15. With that, we've come to the end of our discussion. While the main focus of this video was absolute positioning, I also discussed the fixed and sticky position. In the next video, I tackle the CSS Z index property. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to click the bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. Thank you so much for watching. Until we code again next time, take care. Bye bye.